Brad Williams, Excel Prime. This example sometimes frustrates students. Look up the last invoice date for a specific month. Well, seems simple enough. But the problem is finding the last invoice, the last. We're going to use the lookup function. The lookup function does some creative stuff. It's old. It's a legacy function. Here is the formula. In terms of appearance, it's just straightforward. It seems straightforward. We have an invoice date, and then we have an entry. Well, we can have multiple entries. We have month, and that's what we're looking up. And this is F9. This is random. This number's not random. This information here, the entry dates, are random. Okay, the dates are random. We're trying to find the last 1127 in this list. The best way to look at this is using the lookup. Lookup looks up values either horizontal or vertical. We have not worked with lookup. We have to tear this thing apart and think through, what are we trying to do? We're trying to find the last 1127 in this list. We can see it's here. Are there any duplicates? Doesn't matter. We're going to go from using the lookup. We're just going to look it up. The challenging thing here is this 2. When we're working with lookup, we have a lookup value. What's our lookup value? Go in here. Our lookup value is 2. Our lookup vector, some different terms here. Lookup vector is this god-awful looking, well, all we're doing is looking up text, B5 to B13. Why is it text? Because we're looking for MMMYY. This is the format we're looking, and that's why we use text. And it equals text E5 month YY. We're looking at this format to match this format. The result vector, C5, C13. Got it? Seems foreign language, right? We haven't used vectors. We usually look up arrays and range. Excel has moved forward from this lookup function. The lookup value is the value to search for. We're looking for 2. Well, you know how Excel works. Everything usually defaults to zeros and ones. The lookup vector, the one row or one column range to search. Lookup is limited. And then the result vector, the one row or one column range of results. Let's go over here. Let's read up what we're trying to do. The lookup value of 2 is larger than any value in the lookup vector. Remember what the lookup vector is. Go in here. The lookup vector is this big number. That number is either 0 or 1. The expression text generates text series such as 0117. Using the values in column B and E, which are subsequently compared, the output is a list as follows. True, false, true, false, true, false, false, false. Okay. The range, B5 to B13. We're looking at this. We're just doing a comparison. Where true represents dates within the same year and month. That's what we're shooting for. The number 1 is then divided by the subsequent list. The result is a list of either ones or divide by 0 errors. Div minus. Okay. We're throwing intentional errors here, which is used as the lookup list in lookup. We don't have that option of, 0 for an exact match or 0 or -1 where we're exact with the lowest and so on and so forth. No, we don't have that flexibility here. Lookup assumes that data are sorted ascendingly and always performs an approximate match. And that's the weakness here. In the event that the lookup value of 2 cannot be located, lookup will match the previous value. So lookup will match the last one in the list. Lookup then returns the corresponding value in the result vector, which contains the amount. Pretty tricky. Pretty creative stuff back then, but it's complicated. It's burdensome. And anyway, let's take a look here. Lookup vector. See, you have div errors, and then we're going to have some ones. Where's the error? We're looking for January of 2029. If you notice, div one. Well, we're in January. We're in January, and we're in January. In other words, we're converting this over into this month. Then we're going to do a lookup. Lookup 2. There are no 2s. The result vector says go to C5 and find this last January, because we can't find a 2. Confusing, I know. How it works, okay? Go here to February. Just grab this, hit F9. Oops, you don't have to do that. Just go the lookup array, the lookup vector, F9. And here we go again. Just think of February. We're going to find all the Februaries. Then find, well, whatever that number was. I forget what number it was. It'll be 1128. Because one, we can't find a 2, and lookup defaults to the last number in C5 to C13. Pretty creative, but it's bulky. If you look 1128, there you go, 1171. So 1171, there's going to be a div error here and a div error here. 1171, value, no, we don't want the value. We want this lookup vector, F9, div error, div error, div error, 1, 2, 3, 1171. I'm sorry, I missed one. Transpose, I just saw 11 and a 7. We want March, so we're going to find everything in March, which is 1. You can see there's only one match. Pretty slick, I like it, but you can see the limitations. You are really, really, really at the mercy of the limits of lookup. Useful. You can see where it can be used. I'm sure we will find other tools that make it much easier to implement. Brad Williams, Excel Prime.